Thank you. Go ahead, Jeremy. I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that.
So you can see from this, there are, you know, we created this, but it looks like it comes from Swiss Re. And we're identifying all of these issues. The point of this flyer is to say to personal injury law firms, you may be a great lawyer, but you don't know anything when it comes, you know, you should be scared when it comes to tax issues, financial issues, government benefit issues, malpractice issues, settlement strategies. There's a lot you don't know. And you could get a lot of benefit just from calling this financial advisory service for a case triage. And now you can do that for free because you're a Swiss Re insured. And the reason Swiss Re is offering this is because they're concerned about your malpractice. And so we're trying to address that. So everybody's kind of coming together. There's a benefit to the firm. The financial advisory is offering the advice, and Swiss Re is getting the benefit of reducing the risk on their insured. So it's a very consistent narrative. I am actually, in about an hour and a half, we were then invited to give a webinar on legal, tax, finance, and government benefit issues to all Swiss Re insureds, which is happening in about an hour and a half. And on that webinar, we'll talk about this triage service that they get. And in addition, we created a set of template engagement documents. Tim, you know, and Rebecca, you know about these. And here again, they can go online and buy a set of template engagement documents. And this is actually how we first connected with Swiss Re. And Swiss Re offers a 10% discount on their malpractice insurance premiums for anyone who buys this. So now we get to say there are two significant benefits you get because you're a Swiss Re insured. So my first thought, kind of the main reason we're talking today, is I would like to, you know, Tim and I were talking about how can we expand the Vista brand. So I think a great opportunity would be for us to come up with a version of this only from Vista's perspective. Some kind of offer that we say to Swiss Re, if your insured use us, their malpractice exposure will go down. And our goal here, of course, is to just get Swiss Re to essentially endorse Vista as a credible party, a credible advisor or business solutions group, and then send an email out to all of its insureds, which are in the thousands, saying, we trust this group. You should consider using them, and now you can for free. And it doesn't need to be the thing that we did for settlement professionals. They do this anyway. You know, this is their intake. Now we want to do something that isn't clearly normally free, right? We want to make it something that is a little bit special, but it doesn't need to be huge. It just needs to be of value. And I tend to think, and I'm guessing this is true for you guys, that first intake call where you're kind of issue spotting and giving advice, there's so much value there. And you're doing it anyway. And so, like, I would suggest that we come up with that or some other service that you offer where we can do something that like this. So that's kind of the main topic for today. I think it would be worthwhile at some point before we end the call for me to give you a couple other thoughts on other partnerships that I think would do a very, very similar thing, that would put your brand in front of others from trustworthy sources, or encourage a lot of referrers to bring business to you. And I'll have some thoughts on that, but I think starting here is a good start.
Yeah, Jeremy, a question did jump in my mind after we had talked the other day, and Swiss Re is actually an insurance company, correct?
Yes.
And that's what I thought. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they sell direct and sell through brokers also.
Correct.
And we have run across in our practice over the last 12 years a couple of brokers, one of which has actually sponsored one of our events or a time or two. Very low level deal, but likes us, etc. I've thought it through, and I don't think this steps on anyone's toes at all. So again, you know, that I don't, you guys probably don't know Danny Hughes. Danny Hughes with Thompson Flanagan. They're a big broker for malpractice insurance, and there's another firm out of New York, and the guy's name's Yuri, but I don't remember the name of the firm off the top of my head, that they've reached out to us before, and they're kind of friends of Vista. But I think this is just another, you know, this is Swiss Re. This is not a broker,
Right.
which is totally fine. So I guess the reason I wanted this group together, especially Maurice, Caroline, and Rebecca, to hear what some of the thoughts here is, this is marketing, and any downside, any I wanted them to hear it from the horse's mouth, Jeremy, other than the other end of the horse, me, in you know, how this could work. So Maurice, Rebecca, Caroline, do you guys have questions, thoughts? Did Jeremy and I do a good enough job of kind of explaining what the program could be?
Yeah, I think that as far as the offering and why this is needed and why this service is needed, it makes sense. And so I really rely on your knowledge, Tim, and on Jeremy to say, okay, yeah, this is something that complements our Vista services. Our clients need that, and we need to add it to our repertoire of services. Let's go ahead and build a campaign around it.
Every firm that we work with has to have malpractice insurance. So it is another service. And if we're going to live up to our really vision of being the business resource for plaintiff law firms, here we are. Now this would go to even that. I don't know if Swiss Re could peel out the plaintiff side or not, because they do it for they sell malpractice to other type firms too, but that's our sweet spot, and I know Jeremy knows that. So I just wanted you guys to hear that. What I think, that there's a couple of action steps that are needed. One on Jeremy's side, I think, is to basically start the conversation with Swiss Re. This is all still an idea about Vista. They've plowed the ground with settlement professionals, but new idea here on our end is, what is that offer? And that offer, you know, it's easy to say 30 minutes with a consultant. Do we want to get much more detailed than that? Do we want to even bring the CPA stuff into here and say, hey, you know, we'll take a look at it and give you advice on your entity structure or something like that, to try to bring the accounting work into it. We could, Maurice, even have the recruiting, you know, a free analysis if you're looking for, you know, a team member. And I'm throwing something out here. Hey, it's 10% off of our normal fee structure if you come through this pipeline. Yeah, again, I think we need to get together and hash that out. Let Jeremy start plowing the ground with Swiss Re, but he's going to need information from us to be able to plow that ground productively. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, yes, you're hitting it. Yes, and let me put here a short in the chat for Jeremy's sake. But what would really help get started, everything that Tim just said, having a 1 to 2 short paragraphs that describes the need, the program, the offerings, and the call to action. That right there is about 40% of what makes us be able to define what campaign to use to get the word out. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted to record it, so we can always go back to it and look at it. But from having that 1 to 2 short paragraph, we can then say, okay, so the campaign could go this way, then it could go this way, and then we can build.
But Maurice, we're not campaigning.
Okay, who's campaigning?
We're not campaigning.
Who's campaigning?
We're providing them this sheet and all this information that's on this sheet under SPI and Swiss Re. would be about the special offering that if somebody came through Swiss Re's marketing to us, that we would give them. We would not be out there doing a campaign. Swiss Re is going to do that. Am I right on that, Jeremy?
You are, that with one caveat, and that is there is a wonderful benefit so keep in mind, like this is certainly a hurdle, like, getting the insurance company to say yes to this. And so one of the things I'll say is a big part of why they said yes is I gave it to them on a silver platter. Everything's done. And, so that's part of this, and we can talk budget and things like that. But the other side benefit to this is I want you in your marketing, when you're talking to people, for you to say, and hey, by the way, in our general marketing, do you happen to have Swiss Re? Because if you do, there is a benefit for you, because potentially we can get this from both ends. As I mentioned,
we get a discount for our clients from Swiss Re potentially.
Right. Now that is an even higher hurdle, but
Yeah.
I did succeed in getting that with the protection packet. They offered an up to 10% discount. So now I don't know in order to get that, though, we had to really give a defined, discrete item to say to Swiss Re, if they use this, their exposure goes down. But I think that there may be options here. For example, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys do a fair amount of helping law firms make sure not to miss filings by creating scheduling systems or things like that. One of the biggest items that are actions that result in malpractice liability is missing a filing deadline. So, that's an example. The program needs to be designed to be helping law firms avoid malpractice. But of course, we can also help them with other things, like I really like the idea of, hey, we'll also help you do an assessment on what is the general way you guys are doing your accounting. There are benefits there, but the primary thing, at least the first thing, needs to be something or multiple things that help the law firm reduce their malpractice exposure.
Okay.
So I'm still not clear, because Tim says we're not going to do a promotion.
Oh,
We're
I'm
not
sorry.
doing a promotion. And
Yeah.
so, but I think Jeremy's saying, yes, there might be
So let's assume there's no promotion on our end. It
on
is
our end, on our end.
on Vista's end. Yeah, on
Okay.
Vista's end. It is simply going to be that Vista says to Swiss Re, hey, here's a flyer. We'll offer a service. Any of your insureds who calls us, we will give them the service. That is the entirety of the campaign. It's really, we're just giving an offering. And then Swiss Re is going to do the campaign for us. They're going to email all their people and say, hey, there's a new thing as part of our insurance plan. You get to call Vista and you get these things out of it.
Okay, full stop there. Second thing would be, Maurice, potentially we could go the other direction and say to our clients, hey, we've cut a deal with Swiss Re, assuming we did, that our clients could get some type of discount by going through us to Swiss Re. So, but that's a campaign that we would have to do. And I'm not saying that we jump in that pool right now, but I think we got to start work. And the purpose for this meeting was to give our marketing folks here the idea of what we're thinking about, because we, in either case, we have to come up with the initial offering from Vista. What is that? And we need to come at it, per Jeremy, with things that potentially could reduce malpractice risk. And we've got those.
I'm sure you do. And actually, I can just send you, or Tim, I already sent you this flyer,
Yeah.
but I think this is a good example. When you look at this, when you dive into this, you'll see all this stuff is just about serving clients. It's just, are you going to serve the clients well? Because that's what, that is a big part of malpractice. Avoiding malpractice is making sure that you are doing the things you're supposed to do for your clients. And I'm sure you guys do a lot of that.
Client contact, we talk about all the time. That is the major cause of malpractice suits is, hey, I haven't talked to my attorney. He never reached out to me. And that's part of our system through the deal.
Right. And so as long as keep that as front of mind as the thing that the people who are going to consider whether to say yes, that's what they're looking for. But at the same time, we want to make sure that when the lawyers see it, the lawyers are less concerned about our practice. They're more concerned about, am I going to get something valuable out of this call?
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, I've got another call at the top of the hour. I think what we need to do on our end, Jeremy, is, well, I'll speak to Maurice and Caroline. This is something that needs to come folded into our CIM, our discussions, and where we, how we attack this. So I think the ball is really in our court to get back to Jeremy about what these things could be. And I know, Jeremy, I don't know if there's any groundwork that you're comfortable with even starting until you get that. And I certainly understand if that answer is no, because you need some ammunition for your gun.
Yep. And in the past, when I've done it, it has been one big, hey, look what we've got for you. And then they go back into the general counsel's office and they come out with well, we need it to be different. It's, and I fully expect that to be the same narrative.
Yeah. Do you think, Maurice, is this reasonable for us to put a month deadline on having some thoughts together on this, or is that too aggressive? What do you think?
I think I think I need to spend a little more time with you and with Caroline to figure out what exactly, because yeah,
Well, then let's do that.
When you said we're not going to do any campaign, and so I hear Jeremy, it feels like we are, you know what I'm saying, at some point, so at some point we're going to be doing something. And so from a marketing side, I want to be able to get that something to y'all as quickly as possible so we can launch whatever it is, or we can do whatever it is, whether it's proactive or reactive. From the marketing side, we want to have that for you. So at this point, I'm not really clear as to what that is.
Let's do this. Then let's make sure that this is on our agenda for Monday.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy, right immediately after that, I mean, I'll try to have you kind of not a deadline, but a target date for us to have this information to you that we can then beat up a little bit and try to build that silver platter for you to go to Swiss Re.
Because I think with that conversation, Tim, we can use what we've done with our existing campaigns, is put a peg on the calendar and say, okay, I think we can do ABC by August 12th and work it backwards. And that's what we need to be able to tell Jeremy what we can and can't do.
Okay. All right. Well, I got to jump off. Jeremy, did you cover what we needed to today?
Yeah. If you give me 20 seconds, can I tell you one other thing for another meeting? And that is, so I'm very involved in a number of associations of financial advisors who advise personal injury lawyers. I see a path that's very similar to this with those associations, whether it's from a sponsorship where you're giving an offer for a very similar service, or it's discussing, would you be interested in even saying to those kind of advisors, hey, if you bring a law firm here, you get a referral fee on the benefit, because in fact, you're going to need to stay involved in the relationship because you're regularly working with the firm, and now we're going to work with the firm together. I see some very significant potential for bringing in plaintiff law firms into Vista through that path as well.
Yeah, and I think I'm okay with that. And I know we've had this discussion before. There are certain vendors, service providers to the plaintiff law firms that we will not accept, back and forth commission arrangements or anything like that. But the one-offs like this, which is Swiss Re, I see no downside. But we couldn't do the same thing with a case management system, for example, or an after hours phone service or something like that.
No.
So yeah.
Why don't we hit that next time? Because there are several.
Advisors, I want to think about financial advisors too.
Yeah. So think of the Society of Settlement Planners, the American Association of Settlement Consultants are two. There are also, multiple trust companies out there. And there's both doing something like this where you just say, hey, you're a client of the trust company or you're a member of the association, so you get this benefit from Vista. And the other would be, hey, to all you financial advisors, if you send a law firm over to us, you'll receive a referral fee as long as you stay involved in the conversations to help provide information and stuff like that. Those are the kind of the two main themes.
Yeah, basically what that does is open up another referral source that we do not have at this point at all.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. All right, guys, I got to jump.
Thank you. Nice meeting you,
Call in
Mark.
our court, Jeremy, and we'll put this on our calendar for Monday.
Jeremy,
Okay.
thank you.
That's a thing.
Thanks, man.